This is what some neighborhoods in southern Puerto Rico are waking up to. Down trees, down power lines, no running water. Actually, a short time ago, we even got more rain, but thankfully the floodwaters in this neighborhood have started to recede. But the devastation across Puerto Rico has been extensive. At least 3 people are dead here and in the Dominican Republic.
This morning, Fiona has strengthened into a Category 3 hurricane as it barrels across the Caribbean, leaving a widespread trail of destruction. Twisted meadow and mudslides in the Dominican Republic, which is now under a state of emergency, and catastrophic flooding in Puerto Rico, where millions of American citizens are in the dark. Overnight, just 11% of the island had power. Only 35% had running water. Some areas drenched with more than 30 inches of rain since Fiona first made landfall on Sunday. From the air, staggering images of entire towns underwater, people on rooftops desperately waiting for help. More than 1,000 people across the island have already been rescued.
No power, no water, nothing.
Fabian Moran and his family in Yabucoa were among them as the water kept rising.
Had you ever seen something like this before?
No, never.
Mudslides, sinkholes, bridges washed away. The scope of the disaster still not fully known, since rescuers are still trying to reach remote areas that are cut off. On his way home from London, President Biden called Puerto Rico's Governor Pedro Pierluisi, pledging more federal support.
Was the government here on the island prepared for this kind of stuff?
Definitely. Much better prepared than when Maria happened.
Exactly 5 years ago today, Hurricane Maria sliced through Puerto Rico, killing an estimated 3,000 people and decimating the island's electric grid.
Is it fair to describe the power grid in Puerto Rico as a complete disaster?
No, that's too much. It is fragile. It is fragile.
How long do you expect the power to be out
for? Most customers, I hope, will get their power back within days. How many days? That remains to be seen, but definitely not months.
And here in Puerto Rico, there is widespread frustration that the power grid on the island was not rebuilt more effectively after Hurricane Maria. Meanwhile, as the cleanup effort gets underway here, Turks and Caicos is now bracing for Fiona as it continues to strengthen into a major hurricane. Hoda.
Well, let's hope his words are true. Days and not months to get that power back on. Let's bring in Al. We want to know where Fiona is headed. Hey, Al.
Here we go, guys. All right, so as Gabe just mentioned, it's just 20 miles southeast of Grand Turk Island, the Turks and Caicos, 115-mile-per-hour winds. This is a Category 3 storm. It's moving northwest at 10. It has slowed down a little bit, so we're going to be watching this. Obviously, hurricane warnings in for the Turks and Caicos. Southern Bahamas right now under tropical storm warnings. We're going to be watching this very closely. The path of the system brings it to the west, east of the Bahamas. Now, what we're looking at Friday morning, you notice the cone of uncertainty, about 100 miles to the west of Bermuda right now, Fiona, as a Category 4 storm. I mean, that's massive. As it makes its way, it continues. It'll bring torrential rain there. And as we head on into the weekend, they're going to have to deal with this in Canada. I mean, we're talking about a Category 2 storm just south of Halifax, destructive winds possibly for the Atlantic-Canadian borders. Now, for us, we've got to worry about dangerous rip currents, beach conditions, beach erosion as this system makes its way up to the north. So we're going to be watching that all week. And the next thing we're worried about, we've got this tropical disturbance. It's got a 40% chance of development in the next 5 days coming into the Caribbean Sea. So we're going to be watching this because, again, that cone of uncertainty and that development zone just to the south of Puerto Rico, guys.
All right, Al, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.